रोड पे लिखा हुआ था स्टार्ट.
Ah, good to go. Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
This is Pankit Desai.
It's Vinod Khode from Varroc.
It's been a pleasure to have you, Vinod. We've
Yeah.
been working together for the past, I don't know how many years, but finally to get you to make a trip
Five
all the way from Pune,
5 years. It took 5 years.
5 years to get you here. But I'm glad that you heard.
Yeah, same
For
here.
folks who don't know Vinod, and I would be very surprised if you don't know Vinod, he's probably one of the most accomplished business-led tech professional, another tech-led business professional that I've come across. Because I remember the first time we spoke, and I've always this pet peeve when someone tries to talk about a security posture and all they have is three-letter acronyms. But you really presented a slide deck to me as to how Varroc's overall security posture should look like. And I have imbibed a lot of it. So though I started security much before that, but I have picked a lot on that. So for your ability to translate security as a business problem versus a tech problem was really the way I would have liked any tech professional to look at it. So to me, that was such a pleasing thing to do. Your stints and comments for so many years working in the US, I guess, gave you the exposure of understanding how tech gets leveraged for large organizations. And coming to Varroc, you really made that leap of faith. And I know you're undergoing a massive transformation program, but you're not left your eyes away from security. We just had this conversation in the boardroom recently. So I'm really happy for that. And it's been an honor and a privilege to know him as a person, as a friend, as a fellow technology evangelist. And I've always felt that a half an hour with him, I come back far more learned and informed than my any other conversation that I had with the industry professional. So thank you so much for making the trek. I know you have a long drive back in Mumbai traffic, but thank you so much.
Yeah.
Without further ado, let's talk about the cybersecurity and auto industry.
Yeah.
It's been in the news for a lot of not so many good
Not
reasons,
so good reason. Yeah, correct.
right? And you did speak about it that your board's first question was after the recent episode as to what's happening with us.
Yes.
Just walk me through when you saw that news. What happened in your mind?
See, once anything like that happened, you try to relate. Is it going to happen with me? Can it happen with me? And we asked this question. We did our due diligence that based on what little we knew about this incident, we did our analysis and found that okay, this could have also happened with us, but we have done certain things correctly in time. The message is do this in time, and these are all basic things, and we did that, and we knew that this question is going to be there, so we should be prepared that hey, this could have happened with us, but we have taken care it will not happen with us. So I think we did that. But again, this if you talk about that incident, it's like a domino effect. It's a
Yes.
bad domino effect to say there's some good or domino effect that you have.
Yeah.
But this wasn't bad because it's a value stream. It's a all chain of event which can happen and impacts everybody, all the way to customer. So I think this is a good lesson. A lot of people learn from this, and people have taken amends. Like all the CIOs, we get together and we talk about it. What are you doing? What are you doing about it? And then I think this has created a sudden awareness
Yes.
about you. Probably in this field, you would have seen that awareness coming up.
Yeah. So one thing that I've always seen with we work across a lot of industries, and while I was researching about the supply chain, value chain across industries, and I kind of figured out that there are only two industries that have such a stratified supply chain. One is the airline industries. You have this maybe three or four majors, and then they have this bunch of tier one, tier two, tier three, tier four, tier five suppliers. And I think the airline industry, give or take, has roughly about 45,000 at the last count supplier network that supplies to that, probably more. But auto is not that far behind. You have limited number of majors. I mean, you could count them on a fingertip, the relevant ones at least. And then you have tier two and tier three and tier four, and you are practically a tier two to the auto industry. We spoke about some of the new wins that you had, so congratulations on that. But and I think you did mention that you have had to offboard some of your suppliers because they were not looking at security the way you would have liked them to look at. Walk me through how does that uh, understanding first come about, and how do you inculcate that behavior into a probably a mom and pop shop that is delivering for 30, 40 years to Varroc, and then suddenly you say, you know what, that's not going to work anymore. You are potentially a risk to me. How does that pan out for you?
See, the posture that I think one is we are a tier one auto component supplier, not
Yes.
tier two. It's like if we don't supply to certain OEMs in India and outside, their line stops. So,
Fair point.
so it's a tier one. And the question that you ask is very interesting, which has happened with us. That some use cases that I could see to think of and remember, which has happened in last 1 year. We have seen our OEMs are all big names. Like I can say all the top names in India, and we're supplying to them, whether it
Yes.
is a two wheeler, three wheeler, or four wheeler. Now they have jacked up their efforts on keeping themselves secure, so they assess us.
Hmm.
They have gone to the extent that they will ask us to fill up a form, so we did that. Now the second stage came, show me it on your screen, so we will be showing what we are doing, like whatever we are doing, are we walking that. Now they're also visiting our facility,
Hmm.
and it's a, for a reason. They also want to keep themselves and their supply chain secure.
Right.
And it's all, whatever we all do, whether it's a tier 1, tier 2, or the OEM, we are doing it for the customer. We
Yes.
want to make sure that the commitment that this person has given, that whether it is a CV or a PV, and they have said I'm going to supply this to you on this date, they better do it, because his business or his family is dependent on that. So we are doing all that. So what we said we also do is, we'll also, so we are a tier 1, we have a tier 2, we have a tier 3, we have been working with them. So we are trying to help them by saying that, okay, how do you keep yourself secure in a frugal way?
Yes.
We're not just auditing you. So we audit you. We tell you that you are not good in these areas. So please do this. Simple thing. These are not fancy tools. We're talking about everything basic. Passwords. You reset your password periodically. All your laptops or people where you when we work with a vendor, we give our drawings to them.
Yes.
So is my drawing safe with you? Do you have your user ID, password, and all the antivirus and all this basic network security? And when somebody comes back and say that no, we will buy the antivirus in few months, then it's a red flag.
Red
To us.
flag.
They say, okay, I'll give you one more month, but not more than that.
Not more than
Do you need any assistance? We also offer that. And if somebody still comes back and say no, we will take this time, and that is the intent is not right. They're
Intent
not
is not
able to understand, and they're a risk. And that time we say, okay, tata, bye bye. You can come back once you have done all this. We'll find somebody else. So we have done that.
That's really a strong stand, but right, to be able to step in and say that I'm willing to maybe sever a relationship that has been there for a long period of time and trust that was built because of working together. But this is an absolute no go.
No
You
go.
better follow it, otherwise,
No go.
we probably go to part ways.
Correct.
Right? Uh, when you look at a lot of cyber attacks, I mean, there are various reasons why someone attacks someone. It could be for data, it could be for commercial gains, it could be for nation state actors. But I am getting a feeling that specifically in the auto segment, they're really targeting disruption of supply chain. And that seems to be the mantra. Are you seeing any other parallels in any other industries, or this is kind of unique to how auto is kind of panning out?
I think it's going everywhere. So, irrespective of auto, again, it's my personal analysis, and what I observed is, earlier these things were being done to steal the secrets,
Yes.
and the settlements were also secret.
Yes.
Nobody knew about it, right? But what happens is, again, it's an this has become an industry. Like
Yes, it is.
it's an industry now. You don't need a specialized skill to do this kind of intrusion.
Yes.
It's a as a service. X as a service has started,
Yes.
and I cannot preach the choir. You guys are much expert in that. But because of this, what they are trying to do is, what I feel is, make more noise about it. And it
Yes.
is hard to deny,
Hard to
and
deny.
you have to pay up,
Yeah.
because see what has happened. The amount of money which went in the latest
Yes.
incident we have, and the impact that it had, it was a huge impact.
Yeah.
So now I think they are doing it purposely, not to just steal the secret, but to make more noise and make the presence felt, so that you cannot deny them.
You can't deny the existence.
Yeah.
Shifting gears, before I started uh, working with the auto industry, I had never heard this word TSAX, right? But seems like these days, wherever I go, at least in the auto and auto
Auto, yeah.
ancillary space, specifically people servicing Europe, TSAX is kind of becoming the mantra.
Yeah.
And I know you've done a lot on that side of the house. For the audience on the call, just walk them through what TSAX means, how does it impact the industry, and why would someone look at having a standard like that followed and implemented in a company?
Sure. So I'll just keep it very simple. TSAX, if I am OEM in Europe and I have to find and get something made by a tier one supplier like us. So in auto, in any industry, I would say even airlines and all, you have to share your drawings and your specs.
Yep.
And then even that is one time, but after that is you already talking about the quality issues and ever changing field that we have. So how is that data that you're sharing with your OEM, with your tier one suppliers? Is it safe?
Yeah.
What process and posture do they have to keep it secure
Keep it
till the time I have a relationship with that
right.
organization?
Right.
And TSAX is a framework which ensures that this happens. So there are like organizations like TUV and all. So these are all third party independent organizations which do not have a vested interest in this transaction. They go and they come and they do this assessment and they certify that as per our assessment, this organization or this site where you are producing this is a TSAX certified site.
So it is for every site that
Every site.
so every
So we
manufacturing
when we
plant.
we started with our corporate office. We did our R&D offices all across the globe. Then the places where we had immediate interest, where we are told that okay, you need to have TSAX, then only we do business with you. We started with those, and then we are expanding. So initial few years, we were dependent on some specialist who will come because this was new to us.
Right.
And as you said, in 2020, when the Varroc and Securetech relationship started, this is where we had also noticed that we have to certify ourselves with ISO 27001. So this was journey. It was a 3-year journey
Right.
because we had to prepare certain things before we can apply for ISO.
Right.
TSAX is built on ISO 27001. It's just so once you are ISO 27001, then you can apply for TSAX. So first you get your IT posture right, and then you apply for TSAX. So we have done that. We also got our internal IT team certified as an internal auditor on ISO 27001 first. We gave exam, people
Yeah, yeah.
certified, and now with TSAX we have 4 or 5 people who already done that. So latest certificate we did was Vietnam. We did it ourselves, and only for the final audit we got TUV.
And what's the cycle like? You have to do it every year, every couple
So
of years to
once you
stay
get
correct.
certified,
Yeah,
then you have to get assessed every year
every year.
to
So
keep the certificate. It's like any other
yeah,
certificate.
so you have to keep the honesty going.
Yeah.
So you can't just get away, as they
Right,
say.
right.
You go for a health checkup and you diet before it, and then you can go and splash. Won't work this time. So what's the biggest problems? Then I know you had a 3-year journey to get to TSX, and you kind of alluded to this whole ISO journey. But beyond that, anything that TSX had that ISO did not, and therefore you have to look at it slightly differently, or if you do this, then the TSX journey becomes easier.
So it cannot be compared because TSAX is more for the business processes. So there are 4 sections in TSAX. One is IT, which is already covered, so we can map it entirely to ISO.
ISO.
The other 3 are totally business process. How do you produce? When you produce, where do you keep the jigs and fixture? Do you so all of this? Where are the specs? Who has access to it? If this is my area where you are producing, can anybody enter that place? Where are the CCTV? Who has the feed to that? So these are all business processes.
Right.
So
So IT security, physical security, and other dimensions that may come in. So that's how TSX looks
human
at it.
resource and all,
Right.
everything is covered
Right.
for TSAX.
Right. Right. So, especially in India, I have seen, unlike in some of the other countries, compliance is how one drives security. Some danda has to be there for people to work, right? But I know you're not looking at it that way. And while compliance is a good starting point, I always feel it's only kind of showing the way. How do you look at it beyond compliance? I know you've done a much more set of activities, and we just spoke briefly in the room also about it. That is not asked by a T6 or an IS, it was your own vision of it. How do you see security in the scheme of things beyond just the compliance nomenclature?
So I think earlier we were doing security for just information security.
Yes.
So over the period now we have also with all these experiences that we are having across the globe, it is about keeping your perimeter safe and continuity in operation.
Yes.
Information security is one part of it.
Yes. Yes.
Supply chain continuity has become a bigger part. And I also saw some metrics that you guys have also seen, is that earlier when you were doing this type of audit, information security was a small percent of supply chain assessment.
Yes.
Now it has become almost like 70%.
Yes.
You have that information security is playing some role in that
Yes.
check boxes of supply chain security or risk management. So, and the reason why it is happening is because we are now more and more dependent on tools.
Yes.
See, the new EV vehicle, the amount of electronic component which is there, which is built in, and these are all this small network which is already in the four wheel.
In the four wheels.
There are like several computers sitting on the four wheel, and they are talking to each other. People have gone to the extent that the brakes are wireless, which is very dangerous, right? So,
Wow.
and it is possible,
Possible.
not being used, it's still wired, but it is possible. But even with that, you still have a security risk
Yes.
on that particular thing. There are a lot of security certification required on the EV as well. So, I think to answer your question, it's more about keeping the supply chain and the perimeter safe, and it is all about continuity of operation.
Right.
So, the security of data has now become security of operation continuity.
Operation continuity.
And IT security is part of it.
Part of it. Just to add to it, and I think this again specifically in your industry that you are in, a lot of these are owner-driven companies. Few professional, but most of these are owner-driven companies. And generally speaking, prioritization of investments is always a fight. I'm an owner-driven company, so I know what it means in my own company where to spend money. That's an everyday question. How did you convince your management? How did you get them on board through this entire journey saying you have to spend?
Yeah.
This has came much later, because I know initial days that was not the conversation point. But you kind of led with this whole thought. That would be good to hear.
So I think we did a lot of like consulting and how do we do it, because we knew in our head that whatever we are trying to do is the right thing to do. And especially when we knew the strategy of the organization, it's trying to become touching towards 1 billion.
Yeah.
The journey has already started. We can already see the way Varroc is performing in terms of their stock prices and all. We'll definitely reach there. And there was a divestment which happened. We were already 1.2 billion
Yes,
before
yes.
that. So we're coming back to that. But in order to keep ourselves secure, our continuity is again very important, because that's where the trust of the OEM is built.
Yes.
It's not just that you are able to, we give you a print and you print it and give it to us. Do you add value? Do you keep secure? Can we depend on you?
Yes.
All of this question gets asked. So what we have tried to do as a management team when we have a new investment, what we have done, we laid down a complete plan for 5 years. And this is our 5-year overlay roadmap for how we are going to secure the organization, and this is why we are doing, the reason why this is coming first and why this is coming second. And with that, we have also attached, we remove the fancy word, because the boardroom doesn't understand firewall.
Yes.
Right? They don't understand this concept of firewall, but what they understand is cash flow. What they understand is top line. What they understand is bottom line. So we have tried to relate that if this is not done, is it going to impact our production? Like in one case, one example, we had to upgrade our server. The only thing had to go and tell them that if this server goes down, since it is so outdated, it is not being produced, I won't be able to build it back in X days. I cannot put a number to it because it's not available. I have to scavenge and get this together. It will take many days. But if we improve and go to this, I'll be able to take it back online within few hours. So I think that is the language they were able to understand, and they say, okay, this is a big risk to my operation. And usually what we have seen, we have also been able to attach a number to it. Like in one case, we said that if the cost of this is 10 times less than what it will cost you if your line goes down for 48 hours. It's a very simple way of telling, and this is only one time investment. By the way, this 48 hours will also erode the trust.
Yes.
So they are able to say, oh, this is a very small cost, and you are doing it for betterment. So I think these are the thing that we try to do. We are trying to attach a business conversation to the technical need that we are trying to
Right.
have.
So being transparent about it, speaking the language that they understand, and obviously money matters. So
Money
talking
matters.
about money
Yeah.
makes a difference. One other thing attached to that is, this you spoke about talking to the management, but one other unique thing about your industry is that people are there in the company for years. They probably start and retire there. Um, as we all know, security is as much about people as it's about process and
Yeah.
technology. How did you get that team aligned? Because even digital transformation is a problem. Security is a much later thing. How did you get them? Because at the end, any weakness there could potentially be a problem statement for you, even if you were to implement the best security.
I think that is a continuous thing that cannot be. No organization can say that we have solved that problem, because it's a continuous training. You are as weak as the weakest link,
Yes.
is what they say. So this training thing is a continuous exercise. You have to keep sending, like we have ourselves created about 100 plus flyers, and my security team, they have created a calendar which goes today. So every week there is one message which
That's
is
that
sent
process.
out.
Yeah.
So that is something that we have done. There are some people who respect it, but not everybody. Not because they have a bad intent, but they don't understand the importance. They would not follow the policy.
Yeah.
So there you have to use a different trick, that we are watching you while coming to Mumbai, to coming to your office. On the expressway, I saw a speed camera ahead.
Yes.
Why would you tell somebody there is a speed camera? He'll slow down.
Yeah.
But maybe there is no camera.
There is no camera.
So we have done that as well. Is that we make people feel that okay, we slap their hand when we have to. We find out that, oh, somebody is trying to go this website when the message on the screen is saying not allowed. So why did you try again? Then we say, do you have any problem? Do you want any assistance? Somebody will call up and talk to them. That we monitor people's behavior, and then if somebody is trying to do something which is very dangerous, which can impact our certification, TSAX, our reputation, we have a process. Along with HR, we take action. We have done that as well. And because of all this, there is a awareness
Yeah.
that you should respect the asset which is given to you, and stay within the boundary. If you don't, then somebody is watching you, and it is for betterment. So, and then we also do drills, like we do 2 times or 3 times without announcing. We do a phishing
Very good.
drill,
Campaign. Yeah. Campaign.
fitting phishing campaign. At the when something like that happen, if somebody has clicked on it, he has to compulsorily undergo a training.
Yes.
And then if he is not, then it is reported back to his line HR and
HR.
line function head, and that they have to close that. So I think all of this is helping to create the awareness. But as you say, when what we depend on is, uh, we find people coming back to us when we did phishing exercise. How many people came back to us? Hey, there is something happening. Please check.
That would be the best place to be.
So that is where we want people want. They should come back, or they should click on the button and say this is a phishing,
Phishing.
and we count that, and we see the trend going up.
There you go. So Sam, Dam, Done, great.
Yes,
All
yes,
four
yes,
works.
yes.
Okay, great. Uh, we spoke about it briefly about your suppliers not being able to meet the cybersecurity requirements. Part of it may be money, but part of it may be awareness, their business. So how have you worked with your suppliers to kind of handhold them into the
Yeah, yeah.
process, saying this is what you could do, here is where you can get the resources from, this is
Yeah.
what affordable. Just walk us through how that will work.
So as I said earlier, we extend a helping hand. That say this is where you failed. It's not that we are stopping with you right now.
Yeah.
So then there are some suppliers said we didn't do anything about this. Sorry, what should I do? Like you have already done. Can you guide us?
Right.
So then we guide them and we tell this is what we did. We work with these vendor. You're up. It's up to you. But we
XYZ.
don't we don't propose that you go buy this tool. But we say you need to have an antivirus.
Yes.
You need to have a firewall, and there are many available. So if you want an assistance, we'll tell you which one. But it's up to you. But can you give a plan? Some of them come back and say yes, there is a plan. We already talked to this person,
Yeah.
and we have this plan. We'll get it done. So those are the good ones. Then there are some who contest and say that no, this is not needed. And that's where we work with supply chain and the operation people, and we tell them that either you talk to this person. If it is a critical vendor, you probably will have to move away from that unless you make him work with us, because we are not going to budge from our place. If we have to sever the links, we will do that.
Yeah.
And some of them, but those who don't, we separate. We say, okay, we're going different way. You can always come
Come
back.
back, yeah. Once you get to where we need you to be. In spite of everything that we invest in security, all processes, all people, all trainings, the reality is things may go bad
Yeah.
because it just takes one attack to penetrate and bring it down. So there is this whole concept around resilience. How do you keep yourself? I mean, how do you bring back as quickly as possible with the least amount of impact? How do you prepare the organization for it? What are the backup processes and systems? I know you've thought a lot about it. Just for the audience out here, how would that look like? I mean, what does the entire process, technology, and capability look like from a resilience and a recovery perspective?
So again, this has been a journey. It didn't we? I would say we are on a better stage as what we were like few years back, and going through this certification process of ISO, TSAX, undergoing an ITGC audit every year, your stat audit. It brings a lot of awareness in the organization, because all these external agencies, they come and ask very hard questions,
Yes.
and you have to answer. And this has also been watched by the management, because these certifications are important for them. So there is no, and what happens in this case, if it is ITGC, it is directly presented by the auditor to the board.
Yes.
I cannot be there to water it down. So all of this is helping us as an IT. It is helping because it is creating that threat that okay, it has to be adhered to, otherwise there will be a problem. But apart from that, I think it's all about no fancy tool. It all comes back to discipline. It's all the discipline awareness that we create. Our TMS system has a lot of security related training that is rolled out. People have to go through that. Whenever I get a chance to go to plant, I talk to people about, there are flyers which talk about security. So we are doing all of that to make sure that the awareness is there, and it is a continuous exercise which is happening so that people are aware.
Right.
The more people are aware, and the more they are aware what will happen if they don't follow this, the more secure are. But apart from that, we also use a lot of tools to keep ourselves, like keeping a perimeter safe of about 40 sites in India, about 6 sites outside India, about 5,000 people, 300 servers, so many endpoints, so many access points. These are all places. This is a part of a network which is live,
Right.
which is live and kicking. And each of them every day is vulnerable.
Yes.
So we have to use tools to keep ourselves, to get the alert. We have to work with partners like you,
Yeah.
so that you watch us 24/7 while we sleep,
Yes.
and we get the alert in the time so that we can take action. I don't think there is any organization which can say that they are like 100% safe.
Right.
It's
I
not
agree.
there.
I agree.
You just need to answer one of the question that you ask is, we have our BCP.
Yes.
Like IT has written their own playbook and business continuity. If this happens, we just go by the books. That if this has happened, then do this, do this, do this. There's a phone call which is happening. There's a communication. There is a Teams room which gets opened. So we have done this drill,
Right.
and it's part of our habit now. And I don't think anybody in my organization currently has any doubt is what to be done, because it's all written down and we just follow those drills.
I agree. And I think, as they say, that if there's a fire, you know exactly what the 5 things you have to do. You better have a similar detailed outline of what can, if something like this happens from a security or a breach or a downtime perspective or unplanned downtime. These are the 5 things we'll have to do, or 10 things or 50 things, and these are the stakeholders to be involved, and so on and so forth.
So currently what has happened is, the question which is asked is that if this happened, can you ship,
Yes.
and how?
How?
So if you have already done this homework, then I think you are safe. Its continuity is planned.
Right.
It's not about information security. There are certain things you can also do manually.
Yes.
And then you can reinstate when you are back again.
And that's very important in your business, because you as an industry work on just in time.
Just in time. Yeah.
Right. So no one is keeping inventory for anything.
Yes.
So I know your OEMs give you an order the same day and expect to ship the same day.
Yes.
That's how it operates.
Right,
So
right.
yeah. You are an integrated supply chain, not just from a physical movement of goods, but I know your systems also talk to each other between your OEM and you and your suppliers, and
Yes.
your suppliers and your suppliers. So there is this whole aspect about exchanging information, and when you open up your networks, it creates potential risks. How do you? But it's a great operational efficiency. It makes life easy. It is easy to do business with. But I know as a IT security professional rather, anytime my network opens up, it kind of raises my alarm bells.
Alarm bells, yeah.
So I mean, this is just one example, but like this, there could be a lot of other things that may come up when you integrate companies, when you buy companies. Should I integrate? Should I keep them separate? Separate network, and we spoke about it briefly in the room earlier. There is operational efficiency. Sometimes security becomes hindrance. Probably is a very strong word, but becomes uh, a checker in the process, making it slightly more difficult. How do you balance that? Sitting in the role that you are sitting, because you are responsible for when you're working with the business, IT, and then security. Three different push and pulls, if I may.
So speed and security, these are, they don't go together.
Yes.
We cannot cut corners to integrate two different points like a customer's ERP, our ERP talking to each other through EDI or through integration platform. You have to follow certain steps. I've seen a shift in behavior in so many years now. Fortunately for us, our OEMs are much bigger than us, and uh, it's like a good handshake which is happening. There is no cutting corner, and they, so when what happens is happening, everybody wants to follow a process.
Yes.
There is SDLC. There is no rocket science. There is a SDLC. The requirements are clear, signed off from both sides. These are the agreement. Which message, what frequency, what are the types, and how. And the how place has changed, right from SFTP data packets to EDI, and now it has come to cloud-based standard integration platform. Now the blessing in disguise is integration platform which comes with inbuilt security and lot of things which are already taken care of.
Right.
There is no rethinking which is happening there. The latest two big names in India, one of the top two, I would say, we are doing an integration with them for, so that they want to know the ASN from our side and all that, and we send the invoice. We also get a handshake from them on the demands and all that. So that is being done all on cloud integration platform. So their ERP is talking to ERP through that. But one good thing is that we are aligned. That it is going to take this much time. It is going to do this much testing. We are going from go to dev stage, production. All the thought process is there, and there will be sign off. I have not seen any pushback on that, which is what I thought is going to happen. But when you talk about smaller supplier, we see that happening. And usually, then we are telling them this is how it has to be done, and you better follow the
You better
process.
follow the process.
Follow the process. But I think there is no anybody who is trying to do it. My advice is there is no cutting corner, because this is being used. This will be used every day.
Yeah. Yes.
So you take some more time, but make sure that it's not going to cause a disruption because you're not thought of certain things. Because now with DPDP, it depends upon industry to industry what kind of data is being transferred.
Yes.
There are fiduciaries, are both are fiduciaries.
Yes.
So DPDP is going to make both fiduciary responsible.
Yes.
So you make sure that data remains secure.
They must be.
While it is stagnant or while it is moving on
In
the move,
transit,
it has to be secure. So, but I think the thumb rule is it's not rocket science. It's all basics. Just follow the process. No cutting corner. You do your design. You do your integration testing, volume testing, and all of that properly, and then you're good.
You brought up a DPTP point, and I know manufacturing industry does not have that much of PI data other than the employees or maybe some customer information. But data is still data, and you are 5,000 employees, so it's a reason. And but the good thing for you is because of GDPR and your European operations, you have good amount of familiarity as to how to deal with it. Looking into the India context, have you? I know you started thinking about it, but how do you see that? Does that change anything for you in terms of how you operate, how you store data, how you look at it? Anything that you started thinking about it?
So it's already started in the organization, and we didn't start after this got announced. We started much earlier, and we said, how do we integrate this thought process as a part of everything that we do? Because asking this question at the right time, not after the fact,
After the fact,
it's going to be very detrimental if you do it after the fact. So as a part of our strategy, we have started like if now everything is EV and everything is electronic. So we for a lot of big OEMs we make our telematic control unit as well. So the TCU is manufactured by Varroc, it is put on the vehicle and the data is moving. So is some way we are responsible for a personal data of a person who's using this vehicle
Yeah.
or the thing on the four wheel. It can be a commercial, it can be a passenger, it can be anything. Are we involuntary correcting anything? Is that happening? And if the answer is no, then we are safe. But we have to ask this question. Now, even after that, we still are collecting data about our customer, our vendor.
Yes.
Okay. So how are we securing that data? How are we keeping it secure? It's still a personal identifiable
Yes, it
data.
is. It is.
So all that question has been asked, and now with this announced, we are already working with consultant to come up with a process, a checklist, which will try to do it periodically to make sure that is happening. The IT team is sensitized with this checklist that whenever they create a new application, or we are trying to get application as a SaaS solution, is this taken care of? Like the way you said, GDPR.
You do.
So when we are rolling out certain application in Europe area, this automatically comes. So this is part of our
Second nature.
DNA.
Becomes
It's
second
a
nature.
nature.
Yeah.
So this is also happening with DPD.
One last question before we go to the audience. I know that this is a pet subject for you is KPIs. You like numbers, and you like to be as quantitative as objective as possible. Uh, in your space and security, unfortunately, we made it very qualitative
Yeah.
as an industry. You made your attempt to kind of quantify it. How important are KPIs in your business from a security standpoint, and how should one look at KPIs as we go along for the audience on the call? I mean, how does KPI start getting defined as a process itself, and then maybe what could be the good KPI to work towards?
I think this is a question I had, and one of my mentor, he said he had given a very good definition of it. Is in order to identify something, if you're trying to improve, if you cannot measure, you cannot improve.
Yes.
So once that sinks in, you automatically start getting the KPI that you have to measure,
Yeah.
because you are in your head you are trying to do a change to improve something. So
Yes.
which means it is not where it should be. So what is that? And then there is a journey which, and then you say entitlement is this.
Right.
I can say that with my posture and all the awareness I have created, I can still get impacted by a malware coming through.
Yes.
But how many people clicked on that email?
Yes.
On the phishing?
Yes. That's a
Is
KPI
it
to
coming
work.
down? It is going up. So if after doing all this drills and all this awareness and people undergoing, it has come down, and suddenly lot of people leave, new people come in, it might go up. Is it a bell shaped curve? So if you are watching that, and that's where the KPI comes out. I say no, I have to be on this number, but if I'm not there, then I have to do it. So this is just one example.
One
For
example.
each area I think we can come up with that, but it is always good to be on that. So we watch how many people are uploading certain document, how many people are downloading certain things, are they doing something which was not out of policy. If it is beyond certain area, then we have to report. And then we also monitor by region. If north doing a problem, is it south doing a problem, is it at the corporate house? So we do all that analysis and we present it to the risk manager, HR, our leadership. So we do it periodically.
Okay. Let's look at some of the questions that have
Yeah.
come from the audience. So one of the questions is cost does play a big role when buying security capabilities. Is that the only driver that one looks at? And if not, then how would you evaluate security versus cost? I guess cost of implementing, cost of hindrances or
Yeah.
objections or whatever that might be.
So to answer that, I think there are certain areas we can put a cost that, as I said in my earlier example, is that the cost of certain thing will be maybe 10 times less than this 48 hours of downtime.
Yes.
So you can attribute a cost, but you cannot attribute a cost to the trust which gets eroded over a period of time. Being a listed company, or even if you're not listed, you still have to have a trust in the market. Is it a reliable person? You apply this to day to day. Like if you're trying to buy a phone, and then you say this most reliable phone, it doesn't hang, and then this is a little bit cheaper but it hangs 10 times, would you buy? Then you do this cost analysis that if I pay 3,000 more or 10,000 more, I get more reliable. So this is what also happens when a customer is trying to find a vendor who will be doing business with them. And if you have demonstrated that vulnerability and you are not dependable, I think it impacts you in the long run. So it's security is, as I said, it's not data security. It is security of operation that you are ensuring.
Yeah. Uh, I think the supply chain question, I think, seems to be the most popular one. What can component manufacturers do to avoid becoming a weak link to their OEMs? I think you spoke at length, but I guess this will probably be to the tier three, tier four-ish, who may not be that big a size, but could potentially become a big. Because I remember this Toyota case study where one of the very small suppliers went down to one of the two only,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they couldn't ship the cars for I think a week or 10 days.
Yeah, yeah.
So how does one, if you are a small size organization, what are the minimum things that one should look at doing? Is what the question is.
So there is no fancy, as I said, there is no fancy tool needed to be secure. It's all come down to basic. If you are using a laptop, make sure that you have the latest patch applied. You have using a licensed version, because all the new laptop that you get, it comes with a licensed version. So this is all basic. Have an antivirus, all basic. Follow the processes. Create awareness. Don't click on something funny. Just stick to the basics. You will be safe. And then if you want, there are a lot of organization and discussions like this is happening where you get all these inputs,
Yes.
what to do. Just keep aware, and if you and don't just be ready to ask for help. We are there to help you. I think the fraternity is very good enough, and India is full of jugaad ideas, so we'll always give you some advice there.
I think I like the word jugaad because I think as ACMA, the body that you are member of
Yeah,
and part of, does a phenomenal job in getting the word out. Whether it's the business initiatives,
especially
technical,
for MSME we
yes,
do a lot.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Um, I think again,
And just to add to it, Varroc started with one plant,
yes, indeed. And how many do you have now?
close to
50?
40
40. Okay, yeah. So
across the globe.
that's the roadmap. So you're never too small.
Never too
You
small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you may be small today. Um, the whole thesis around digital transformation. Let's not talk security. We said he spoke a lot. Um, I still see in manufacturing we are still doing a lot of catch up around digital adoption, and maybe the core backend. Yes, you may have some form of an ERP, modest if at all, but on the surround side, I know you're undergoing and you're thinking about a major transformation. What are the things, and maybe not before your tier three, tier four, but companies like you, or maybe just an immediate supplier to you, what are the things that are happening in the industry right now from a transformation perspective, tech transformation perspective?
I think it all boils down to speed of response.
Yes,
Everybody wants a solution quickly, and it's all driven by your principal. Your principal is whom is your OEM.
yes,
So if the OEM, you are there because there is a OEM,
yes, yeah, yeah, sure.
right? For us, at least applicable to us. So it's the speed of response that you need, and whatever it takes for us to give a quality solution at an affordable price. Expectation is always everything is going down.
Yeah,
You should be the cheapest tier one supplier, but at the same time, you should be able to give in the right time. You should meet your on time in full commitments and all that. For that, you need tools.
yes,
And then tools and technology is going to come in this, but at the end, it all comes down to again basic is that you need to invest in the right people, right tool. And when it comes to tool, as you said, the question which is being asked is how do you do the cost consideration there and make
yeah,
sure that you have the right tool. So minimum that you have is ERP. If you are a component manufacturer, you will have a PLM.
yes,
You are dealing with a lot of people, you need a HRMS solution. You need to be on the cloud because you need to do this integration with your OEM. That expectation is there. Then again your analytics should be there.
yes,
Yeah. And then you should be on the collaboration which is needed across your plant, your sites, and with the customer. You need to have some collaboration tool. And fortunately, if you see in last 5 6 years the trend, and I am proud to be sitting in one of the organization which is helping India become sovereign. right? So, and there are a lot of such organization. I think India, as an Indian organization, you should feel lucky that you're in a country where we are producing these tools and we are competing with this world.
Yep, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
So this is the right time for us to be on try to be more on this sovereign solution, because it is going to help India in the long run.
I guess. One last question. Uh, this is as it relates to OT, right? Manufacturing industry for a very long time. What happened in the plant stays in the plant, right? As in, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in the plant stays in the plant. And some rudimentary integration used to happen within the back office corporate systems, but things have changed and are changing even more. Two questions. One, from a operational efficiency perspective, specifically for a discrete manufacturing company like yours or in your industry, how does that integration pan out? Is still kind of nice to have or is essential to have, and how people are looking at it? And then the associated security risk. If you can take these two, and then we should be done for the day.
Sure. I think it used to be like that. What happens in the plant stays in the plant, but not anymore. Because of all the technology that you are using, you can be looking at your plant sitting anywhere.
Yes.
So that, and then everything boils down to the numbers. Because as long as the numbers are saying right, that you have the right margin, you are
Yes.
producing what you had to produce, you have shipped, there is no customer complaint on the quality, the returns are not happening. So all of these numbers have budget and they are being monitored. And being a listed company, it matters a lot.
Yes, it does matter.
So it's no longer the era where things can be hidden under the carpet. So this is already happening. The second part of the question was
The OT.
OT.
integration.
Okay. So now I think industry 4.0 has become a little bit old now. It is
Yeah.
already going to 5.
Yeah.
A lot of Indian organizations are still between 3 to 4. And I think it's also, when I look at it, not all plants would need industry 4.
That's what I was asking, because process industry, I know there is a lot that could be achieved, but for discrete, that's what my question was. I mean, sometimes what in tech it becomes a fad. Everyone is doing it. I will do it whether I need it or not.
Yeah.
It's like we did a hackathon. Everyone had wanted to put an AI in it, whether we did it or not. So that's the question.
Yeah.
So
The reason I said that is, you have a capex invested.
yes.
It's a product which is there in the market. It's maybe a two-wheeler. It's not changing. It is loved by people. You don't need to change it.
Right.
Why would OEM change it? Why would I change my assembly line for that? Because in order to put an IoT solution on top of it, I need to put sensor on it.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's not IoT.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
So-
if I am just if I am trying to do only OE calculation based on that, and I am not automatically punching the production into my SAP, then it's not a complete IoT. It's a very partial one use case,
One
which is
use
OE.
case. Yeah.
Or people usually say that they go and do energy tracking, energy management, and say I have implement IoT. That's not the case. So if you want to do it completely, there is definitely a value, but it's a change management for the organization. You have to think from every perspective, that you also have to refactor your assembly line, and if that is not done, then probably your IoT is going to be impacted.
So one attached question, last question Anand, was a security. The phones have a habit of ringing. So with OT integration comes the security challenge. Any perspective around whether that should create a whether that should result into you rethinking about doing it in the
Right.
first place?
It is a scenario which is there, and it depends upon what solution you are putting in place. If your solution is completely within your firewall,
Yeah.
and you're not trying to put a data in an external cloud, so it is all encapsulated within a framework which is there, then you're much safer. But if you're trying to take the data outside and putting it in the cloud, then all of that starts, because you're going to build a pipeline from here, from your endpoint into the cloud,
Right.
and then you have to start putting investment to make sure that it is secure, the solution is secure, and all of that. So definitely depends upon how you are architecting it, it has an impact.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Thank you
here.
so much for sharing your
Same here.
perspective.
Thanks for having me here.
It was so nice of him on a Friday evening to drive down all the way from Pune. uh, hazarding the traffic of Mumbai. But as usual, Vinod knows how to make a very difficult topic easy. It's not because the topic is easy, because this man has a art of making it simplified, and I know that's why he works well with his management and peers as well. So thank you so much, Vinod, once again.
Thank you.
Audience, thank you for being such a patient audience and a lot of questions. I could have taken more, but I promised in 45 minutes, already 7 minutes about that time. So once again, thank you so much. Have a great